So today what I wanted to do was show you the Tarp and Bivvy setup that I've been using when I've been going on my wild camps. And what we'll do is we'll just look at a lot of the features of each of the items, and then I'll just talk a little bit about how I've been finding them and basically what I think of the setup. So let's start with the bivvy bag that I've been using, which is this item here. It's the British Army Goretex Bivvy bag. I paid about £35 for it, if I remember rightly. There may have been another £5 for postage through eBay or Amazon, whichever one it was. The bag itself weighs 830 grams. In terms of the dimensions of the bag, I've got 89 centimetres across the shoulder, I've got 66 centimetres across the bottom, and I have 256 centimetres as the total length of the bag. At the top of the bag we do have a draw cord closure, so that can be used to tighten up the bag to keep the heat in and the elements out. And as the name would suggest, it's a Goretex lined bag, so it's a fully waterproof and a breathable waterproofing system that's in that. Also, as you can see, all the seams have been taped as well, just to prevent any water ingress. So then, let's move on to the tarp that I've been using, which is from OEX, and this is an item I paid $39.99 for from Go Outdoors. The website says it weighs 980 grams. It comes with pegs, it comes with guidelines, and it also comes with poles. The tarp has a waterproof backer to it. It's a PU backer, and that's got a waterproof rating of 5,000 hydrostatic head. So as well as the waterproof, the PU waterproofing on the back of the tarp, we have a tape seam running across the ridge line of the tarp, and we also have tape seams at the corners, which I suspect they're more for reinforcements rather. The poles it comes with are an aluminium pole of 9.5 millimeters thick, and of that you get 6 of them. So the tarp does have an unusual shape about it. It's what I described as a pentagram with curved sides, and it's in length, so from what you'd call the front to the back, it is 285 centimetres, and at its widest point it is 305 centimetres. What I want to do is I just want to go through the numbers of the weights of everything, because I've sort of changed things a little bit, and it's a little bit nerdy, but bear with me, we'll get through it. So the tarp itself weighs 503 grams. The poles altogether weigh 230 grams, and the pegs were weighing 17 grams each, sorry. So what I've done is I've actually, these are the pegs that came with it, the silver ones, and they're like a lightweight aluminium. And I've actually bought these pegs that are also OEX branded from Go Outdoors. I think they were like 5 for £6, something like that. And I got 10 of them. And they actually weigh, they're lighter weight, they weigh 13 grams each. But the main reason I got them was actually for the shape of them. I wanted the Y shape for better anchorage. The poles that come with the tarp, they're nice poles. They are quite lightweight and they feel fairly strong. But what I tend to carry anyway with me is some trekking poles, and I actually, after a couple of attempts, I actually prefer using this tarp with the trekking poles, and it means that I can leave the tarp poles behind, since I've already got these trekking poles with me. And so, because I've swapped items out, what I want to do is basically just go over the weights of a lot of the items. So for example, the tarp itself weighs 503 grams. The pegs that I take with me weigh 13 grams each, whereas the old pegs weighed 17 grams each, and the poles weigh 37 grams each. So in terms of what I actually take, the tarp itself, the guy lines that are pre-attached, the pegs, the new pegs that I bought for it, that comes to 610 grams. So altogether, we've got 830 grams for the bivvy, for the British Army bivvy, and we've got 610 grams for the tarp. So that's sort of the features of both items. What I'll do now is I'll just talk about each item individually and what I like and what I don't like about it. So the first thing to say about the Goretex Army Bivvy bag is that it is absolutely massive. I can get my air mat, which must be about 6 or 8 centimetres deep. I can also get a 4-season sleeping bag in there, and there's still lots of room in there. I think the idea and what I like about that is that it means that if you had extra kit or anything like that, there's no reason why it couldn't just be shoved to the bottom of the bivvy bag or by the side of you in the bag to keep it, you know, dry from any rain or, you know, frost in the morning, anything like that. So the second thing that I like about the bag is the fact that it has got a Goretex lining to it. There's no Goretex tags on the bag, but I've been reading a few forums about this sort of kit, and I'm pretty confident it does have a Goretex lining. So it is waterproof, especially with the tape seams, and it is a breathable waterproofing as well. The third thing that I like about the bag, the final thing, is the price. So overall, you know, you've got this fantastically big bag, spacious bag that's got a Goretex lining, and you'll pay 30-40 quid plus a bit of postage for it. So for me, that's a real good deal, particularly for someone like myself who's just started wild camping. The only thing that I have noticed is obviously that a lot of them are used. I have noticed that there's a bit of condensation build-up at the bottom of the bag, and at first I was like, yeah, well, you know, it wasn't raining or anything, so it's definitely condensation. But what I did recently was get this in the bathtub and give it a good wash, and even though it looked clean, the amount of dirt that came off it was unreal. The water was, you know, a thick black brown sludge almost. So I'm pretty confident now when I take it out, I'm going to be getting better breathability out of the bag. And I suppose the only other sort of downside to the bag is its weight. You know, it's not at the light end of the scale, but you know, the price is cheap, the materials are thick and durable, so for me it's not the end of the world, it's just something to be aware of. And so that brings us over to the OEX tarp, and I suppose for me what the real positive of this tarp is the price. $39.99. You know, for what you get, you do get a lot for your money. You know, it is a waterproof material, and I've tried and tested that, and it's waterproof to a high level as well. You do get the full set of pegs, you get the guidelines, you do get some poles with it. The other little thing that I like about it is, which I haven't used it for yet, is I think it could work really well as an extension to a small backpacking tent. And it may be what this is designed at more really than using as a freestanding shelter by itself. that sort of leads us on to the downside of the tarp, and for me it is quite a big one. It's the shape. It's quite it's a more unusual shape really. I know there is other tarps out there with this shape to them, this pentagon shape with sort of curved edges. But I feel it limits the configurations you can do with it. So what I've been using mostly is one pole at the front, in the middle, one pole at the back. So it's like an A-frame tent almost. And yeah, it works really well like that. But I feel like, I don't know, maybe I need a bit more practice with the tent, with the tarp. So using both of the items together as well, they work well together actually, work nicely. With the tarp I've been using in the A-frame configuration, and the bivvy, I've had my sort of top half of my body underneath the tarp and my legs just poking out a little bit. It works well. You know, I've been dry, I've been comfortable, I've been protected from the wind. So it's a nice setup, and it's worked well for me actually. So that's the OEX tarp and the Goretex Bivvy bag. If you've got any questions about either of these, I'd be happy to answer them in the comment section below. Likewise, if anyone's upgraded to something else from these, then I'd also be interested to see what you thought when you did upgrade to something like an AppKit tarp or maybe an AppKit bivvy bag, which I know a lot of people really like. So yeah, that's my tarp and bivvy setup. Thanks for watching.